Join us for a first look of the new Audi Q5 facelift. Let's go. The front of the new Audi Q5 facelift starts stronger now, so the whole grille is wider and also more aggressive in the look, already for the base versions. Then this is the optional S-line, the sporty design, and this then comes with the honeycomb style, so the base grille has a little bit different inside style. And the base S-line would also have a bright look here. So this is S-line plus the optional shadow line package, and then you also have the high gloss black accentuations here and the most menacing look for this vehicle. The S-line also has stronger elements here. They are not really air intakes, you could say fake air intakes elements. And again, when you have the shadow line, then you also have the high gloss black in the lower area. The length is now at 4.68 m, 15'4" or 184 inches, just a little bit longer due to other bumper overhang. Yeah, interesting. From which side will they enter the stage? It's this one. So the side profile has not been touched majorly. You can see it still has this interesting design line above the door handle, which is a little bit, let's say, curved here. A little swing in there towards the rear. And this again being the exterior S-line package. Usually wheels start from 17-inch. S-line automatically comes from 18-inch. Before it was 19-inch. So indeed the S-line entry alloy is a little bit smaller now. But then it goes all the way up, and this is the optional 21-inch wheel for a Q5. Really, really massive. This color, by the way, is called District Green. Looks like an army green or so. The main new highlight is OLED, organic LED, and you can see here, look at the lights. And now I'm a car, for example, or I'm a person. Well, and then you can see, have you seen that? The signature in the rear changes. So that means now the car, and it's a new trend that will be continued, that cars communicate with the outside world over the lights. And this is more like an approaching lights. Like, oh, you're coming closer to me, you know? That's a very interesting technology piece. And when you take a look at these OLEDs in a closer way, the light area itself, so the light itself is one-to-one with the light area, and they look so flat like a canvas. So very interesting new technology. They are an option, and both. You can go with the base LED lamps and then add the OLED, or can go with the matrix LED lamps and then add the OLED. So it's separately, you know, can decide on your own for what you want to spend the extra money, but definitely very interesting technology piece here. When we activate, by the way, the dynamic mode in the in the front cockpit, then once again the lightning signature is changing to a more, let's say, aggressive look. The scheme of this facelift, as for the engines, is electrification. Almost all engines are now mild hybrid. On the petrol side, we can also see it right here. This is the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine. Comes with a 12-volt bolt net and a smaller lithium-ion battery for the mild hybrid system. Then in the US still, or North American market, we'll still have the 3-liter 6-cylinder petrol engine in the SQ5. This one does not get mild hybrid. And then switch over to the diesel, also 2-liter 4-cylinder TDI or the 3-liter 6-cylinder TDI. And the latter one also gets the MHEV system, in this case then with a 48-volt board net and the bigger lithium-ion batteries. So it will be the, let's say, most electrified pure combustion engine. And then there's also the plug-in hybrids. This then for the 2-liter TFSI in combination with an electric motor in 2 different horsepower specs. As for the seats, there are two basic seat forms. The base seat is available in all fabric in Europe. That's also the preferable one. In the US, for example, it always starts with a mix of animal skin and leatherette. And then this optional sports seat here with a little bit more bolstering. In this case also with animal skin and some leatherette on the outside. So it's a mix here. It's also available with an Alcantara, in this case, Dynamica share. So it's a microfiber material. They just changed the supplier from the company of Alcantara to Dynamica now. Like Mercedes, for example, are using also. Interesting. So that means, whereas in the compact vehicles, Audi made a lot of progress of reducing animal skin material, it's not here yet. So they still have to work on that. Would have expected that with the facelift actually. However, from the seat form, the seating position here is very good. You can put the lower part a little bit longer like this, and you already have the feeling of sitting in a grown-up SUV. Have the seat all the way down with 1.86 or 6'1". Still have some headroom left here, although this one is built with the panoramic roof. You do not have to go for that one. When I think about when we drove the initial car in Baja California in Mexico, that was so hot that you probably would be better off without the panoramic roof, even though there's a shade available you can close. Interior overview. Obviously the biggest change is this new screen. It always comes like this, 10.1 inch is also standard. The trick is basically that you do not have to get every feature instantaneously. They also can be upgraded later on. That's a new thing. It is good, for example, for later car owners. If they buy a used car and then there's some feature missing, they can still buy it later on. Yeah, that would be something. Now also with monthly cards, map air data updates and so on. So this is also one change. Here you can see the drive select. Soon we'll get into the details of the screen. It looks a little bit attached because it wasn't planned before. Yet again, because it is so attached, it's also close towards you, and that means you can very easily access it also then when driving. Of course, you shouldn't play around with that too much while driving, but it is really easy to reach. Therefore, then it's also somewhat okay that the MMI knob in the lower part is missing now. So that's the thing. They saved that then because they went all the way touch. Yeah, people are mixed opinion about that. Tell me yours in the comment about this. Now to the screen in detail. Here's the Android Auto connection this time, just as a showcase how that one looks like. And also check out how the Google Maps looks like this. Apple CarPlay, of course, also available. Apple CarPlay also wireless, by the way. Then you can go to the normal MMI menu. It looks like this. Either, it's actually a good overview. However, this one is new, so you can have a more individualized menu right here, sort of what you see directly. Rear insert doors with this beautiful wood insert as well, and the material front and rear is also the same. So again, it is rather hard packed, but not entirely hard, like a little bit you can squeeze it inside. And again, the reason, once again, because it's one piece here. Also pretty interesting. I think, I'm actually okay with that if it's now like this. Not with the initial cars, but now I think it's okay. Then you can take a look. It's some kind of a single seat setup. The middle part is a little bit higher. Not sure how often the middle fifth seat is being used. And this is also the optional seating bench. You can also move front and back and also change the angle and so on. Let's test that. So when I get inside, as for the legroom, again, mid-size SUV segment, and it's not too bad actually. So there are also these gaps here in the seat, or like recess, and still a lot of legroom. The seat is to my driving position. So quite comfortable. Also upright seating position here in the rear. Headroom still works. I can put a hand over my head. Will be a little bit more when we leave out the panoramic roof. Here, by the way, the cascading turning indicator from the rear, also pretty interesting when opening or closing the vehicle. So 4 ways to open the hatch. Press twice here at the key. Use the manual button right here under the rings. Open it from the inside of the driver's door. And the 4th way is using the foot kick opening mechanism. And there's sometimes the show effect that it doesn't work for the very first time, because every car is a little bit different. Yeah, there we go. So here the foot kick opening mechanism, and then here we go, and it's actually quite good dimensions overall. We can open it right here, this cover. Then there's this net, you can also remove it. Underneath here, so at the moment some sound equipment. And now to our conclusion for today with the new Audi Q5 facelift. Well, exterior-wise, it has a sharper look, a sportier look, already from the base versions. Of course, then even sportier here in the S-Line. Interior, the biggest change is of course with the infotainment system, now with a touchscreen, so it is easier to use on the one hand. While driving, you could argue that the MMI knob was somewhat practical. However, it is a very good system software-wise, so you can also somewhat, for a touchscreen, very well control it while driving. Overall, I still think it is an upgrade. The virtual cockpit is still among the best ones and also offers more functionality now. They also increased the build quality on the interior from one of the earlier models, so we noticed that as well. Overall, the package is still quite nice. This mid-size SUV, it serves a lot of different purposes. What is still missing are the non-animal seating choices in the higher trims and outside of the EU. As I said, you can get base fabric seats, at least for the European customers. New with the engines, the mild hybrid technology, so the electrification is the main topic there. And it's also a good move for a little bit more fuel economy. We also very soon test that one on the road and maybe also a little bit off-road. Well, this is of course primarily for the road use, but if you also want to take a look at off-roading the Q5, at the initial launch of this vehicle, we did do that. It was a very impressive review as well with the beautiful landscape. We will also link that episode. We also have an SQ5 episode, and we will also renew these reviews when the updated engines are coming. So stick here with us and also tune into some reviews of the competitors. They will all be linked in the video description and also in the pinned comments. So overall, this facelift, it's not a huge change, but definitely some refinement here and there. And also, last but not least, interesting with this OLED technology, because these changes are also leading changes for other vehicles to come. And especially I found this aspect interesting, that it communicates with the outside world a little bit by the light signature. What do you think about that in general, about the Q5 facelift? Tell us in the comments and see you at one of our other videos. Bye for today.